and welcome back. If you are new around here, then hi, nice to meet you, and if you are returning, then thank you very fucking much for coming back. Yes, there is a little bit of swearing on this channel, but I'm going to blame it on the fact that I'm Scottish, and that's the argument that I'm sticking to. Did you expect me to be doing anything else than drinking coffee and eating a biscuit? Or a Jaffa cake? Is a Jaffa cake a biscuit? That is a good question, because it's more like a sponge. It's a cake, but it comes in a biscuit packet. Life's quandaries, honestly. So this video is going to be my October roundup, kind of what I've been liking, what I'm thinking is so meh, and what I've been reading and what I've been watching. Because it is October, I am wearing my garbage pumpkin Teresa is Dead t-shirt that I've picked up because it's Halloween, you know, fucking Halloween, bitch. To be honest with you, I will be doing nothing at Halloween. I will be on night shift, quite possibly. Yeah, Halloween is this Saturday and I am on night shift, so I will be doing sweet fuck all with my Halloween anyway. It's not like I would have any grand plans anyway, but this Halloween I definitely will not be doing anything. I have put a little video up. Oh, by the way, this is not fake. This is not some gruesome, like, gory detail I was trying to add in. I burnt myself on my hair tongue. It's quite nasty, I know, so if you see it throughout this video, that's what it is. I have put up a little kind of very simple Halloween makeup tutorial if you fancy checking it out. It is nothing fancy. It's nothing like, I know some people that do Halloween makeup and it's like, wow, amazing, super effects. It's nothing like that. It's very simple, I can promise you. But if you are doing something, whether it's going to a coffee shop or whether it's I don't know, just you and your other half sitting in the house and you felt like the need to get dressed up, or you're doing it on Zoom, whatever you're doing, there's a tutorial up there if you fancy getting dressed up. Otherwise, let's just get stuck into my October roundup and the things I've been liking, things I've not been liking, and all the bits in between. My advice would always be to grab a cuppa, because I do like to ramble and they usually are quite lengthy. If you're into that, then keep watching. So how's everybody's October been? To be honest with you, mine's has been a little meh. I think now this lockdown, this pandemic is really just starting to take its toll on the majority of people, to be honest with you. If you are new around here and you don't know, my full-time job is actually a nurse. That's what I do, and I also have diabetes and I have cardiac history as well. I've had heart surgery a couple of times. Anybody who's watching this and they're like, yeah, we know, you fucking tell us all the time. I'm just letting people know because I know there's a few new subscribers around here. So working in a pandemic at the moment is interesting, to say the least. But yeah, I think this second wave, especially in Scotland, is certainly much more apparent in the health service this time. I know that the facts and the figures aren't quite as bad as they were back in April just yet, but certainly the wards seem busier. So I don't know how that correlates. I'm not saying the government's lying to you, it's not a big conspiracy. I just mean, like, it has been very difficult. There has definitely been a greater influx of people in the hospital really sick with COVID this time than there was the first time. I don't know if that's because a lot of people stayed at home and you know, they were told unless you needed medical attention, don't go to the hospital, whereas now we're very much back to the normal of, I don't feel very well, I better go to the hospital, which is fine, like, people do that, that's fair enough. But yeah, it's tough. And I think just in general, I know Alan's feeling it as well, that's my partner, and his work, and just not being able to do the nice normal things that you would do, like go to the cinema or catch up with friends. In Scotland at the moment, I don't know how it is where you are, but in Scotland at the moment, where I stay in Glasgow, we are not allowed to go anywhere that serves alcohol. Places like that are not open, so pubs, restaurants, types of things like that. Places that are open are places like coffee shops, and they are only open till kind of 6 o'clock in the evening, which is fair enough. Like, you wouldn't generally go to a coffee shop after 6 o'clock in the evening anyway, but they are also much busier because there aren't other places for people to go, so it means that the coffee shops, you know, they're queued out the door. It's just, it's just odd at the moment, and it is just really starting to take its toll on everybody, I think. And with the impending idea of Christmas and not being able to be with family, I'll be working this Christmas anyway. That's quite a normal situation for me, but I know that the majority of people like to spend Christmas with their family, and I know it's just a horrible idea that people maybe aren't going to be able to see each other, or just for safety reasons can't be in each other's company. I think it's so sad. I don't know how anybody else is feeling about it just now. It's really starting to get to me. I've found myself to be very anxious lately. I found myself to be very upset and just crying for no well, I don't say no reason. I know why. This is just all getting a bit much. I don't know if anybody else is feeling the same, but all I'm going to say is there's no shame. There's absolutely no shame in feeling like that. I follow a girl over on Instagram who has cystic fibrosis, and she was saying how like she just felt like it was all getting just too much because, you know, she got her shielding, not her shielding letter, but she got a letter around saying because you shielded the first time, here's what we're suggesting you do this time. And it's just ongoing, and she's just finding it really tough. And I messaged her and I was like, there's no need to feel shameful or like bad that you're feeling tough, finding it tough, because I know I am. Like, I don't have cystic fibrosis, I don't have a lung disorder, I do have chronic health issues, but I'm finding it tough, and I don't have something that could, well, I do have something that could cause COVID to run a bit riot, but hopefully because I'm a young person and I'm quite well with it, that wouldn't happen, whereas someone with cystic fibrosis might be greatly affected more than me. So I can't imagine how that must feel for that woman. And you know, we're all finding it tough regardless of having chronic health conditions or not. I'm sorry this is getting a bit deep and meaningful. We will get onto the products in a minute, but I just thought we should really have a quick chat, because a lot of the time people always say like, oh, what you see on Instagram is you know, just a highlight reel, and it most definitely is, and especially, like, I'm not stupid, I know that. I hope that the majority of people do know that. I worry about youngsters not realising that sometimes, but to be honest with you, I know that that's the case, but despite that, sometimes because you don't see the bad things, it can be easy to forget that other people are going through similar, or it can be easy to forget that you don't know what that person's going through. You have no idea. You only see the photos that they put up that they feel, oh, I felt good that day, I'll stick a photo up. That's all you're getting to see. You're not seeing the bad side. You're not seeing photos of me where I basically stayed in bed all day yesterday crying, just crying, because I was so anxious about my work. You don't see that side of things, and I've not seen my mum since, was it July? It's July or August anyway. I've not seen my mum. Alan's parents just live 10 minutes up the road from us. We still haven't been able to go in their house though. There's just really small things that I know everybody is missing, but I just want everybody to remember that everybody is going through something, and it's alright to feel shit now. It's alright to not want to be like, hey, Halloween, spooky Halloween, like I'm doing this, I'm doing that, because a lot of people are just feeling utterly crap, so it's alright, it's okay. And this is like meant with the greatest sincerity. If anybody feels that way, like give me a message on Instagram and we can talk about it. I'm not a fucking counsellor, I'm not anything like that. And sometimes I'm quite a blunt person, to be honest with you. Sometimes I'm very much like, oh, for fuck's sake, like, get rid of yourself. My close friends will tell you that. But if you need someone, generally I'll try and talk to you. And I've let people down with that recently. And I think that's probably because I'm myself feeling very overwhelmed. And I had to realise that. I had to kind of say, well, Anna, that wasn't right. And then I had to kind of forgive myself and go, that's okay, you're allowed to do that because things are a bit shit just now, and apologise to the person that I let down as well. So yeah, just, I know it's a bit doom and gloom to start this off, but to be honest with you, I just felt like I wanted to say that because really it's kind of shit place at the moment. It's a shit world, but I always just try and think things could be worse. They could, in my case, things could be much worse. I don't know about yours. I don't want to belittle your situation, but things could possibly be worse. Try and think of it that way if that helps you. Anyway, let's move on to kind of what I've been liking, what I've been loving. Alright, so I'm going to talk about the Pat McGrath Celestial Divinity palette and the Drop Dead Gorgeous, the Drop Dead Gorgeous Little Bit Psycho palette. Now this I have a full video on, and this I have a full video on. They should both be up now. I will put them in the cards, or I will link them down below. But the video I made on this is a first impressions, and the video I made on this is a first impressions. This, I have to say, for the price of it, for the size of it, for the fact that it's like a themed item, I thought was really, really good. But I have only used it a couple of times, so I can't sit and be like, oh, it's a go-to palette. I can throw it in my bag and make any look I like, because clearly it's it's most definitely kind of a Halloween themed palette. What I'm going to say is though, I have been floored by the quality of the shadows in this palette, and it I don't know if you can hear her, that's Molly. So Pebbles is up here, I don't know if you can see her, and Molly is out there in the hallway meowing because she thinks she's been left on her own. Molly, come on. Hey, are you okay? What's wrong? Hey, this is Molly. Molly is she's a real sook. Look at her wee eye, it looks a bit sore, but she just has a watery eye. She's a big, soft, fluffy, sooky thing, but also she's not that into being held, so I'm going to put her down in a wee second. If you're not holding her, she will happily let you pat her, rub her tummy, purrs all the time, but she doesn't really like being held up like that. I've now got white fluff, Molly, all over my nice new t-shirt. Anyway, as I was saying about these palettes, so yeah, I am astounded by the quality of the shadows in this palette. So for that reason, it's definitely piqued my interest on BH Cosmetics. I think I mentioned in my video, it was like, do you remember the big like 140 palettes BH used to do? And even they had like these zodiac ones, like they used to be all circles, I'm sure, their eyeshadows, and now they're all squares. That to me is a little more aesthetically pleasing. I don't know why, it just is. So I prefer these over the kind of circular ones they used to have. But I can't comment on the quality of the shadows just because of the shapes. But this I am impressed with, and I will look into more from BH Cosmetics if I'm honest with you. Just so happens that this one was a themed one that I looked at, but I kind of fucking love it. I kind of really like it, it's amazing. As for good old Pat here, the Celestial Divinity palette. Now, as I mentioned in my video, I have never used Pat McGrath before, so I cannot comment on the fact that some of the shadows that are in other palettes might be of a better quality, these ones might not be as good, or you're getting a slightly smaller pan size. I did find out that actually this palette is made up of 2 palettes that were released from the Star Wars collection, I believe, and then they've added in, was it like 4 new shades or something ridiculous. They've put in like a couple of new shades, and basically a lot of people were a bit like, well, what's the point in buying it because you already had the Star Wars out? And I totally understand the reasoning behind that, because if you've already picked up the Star Wars palette, you'll be like, this is just the fucking same thing. As I own no Pat McGrath, I thought this was a really good purchase for me. My first impressions video certainly seems that I'm enjoying it, but I am going to do an updated video on this, basically showing you different looks that you can achieve with it, and we will discuss whether or not it is worth the £60, and that's what it is here in Scotland or in the UK. I think it's something like $78 in the US, but here it's £60, and that's still pretty steep for an eyeshadow palette. But for, what's that, 6, 12, 18 pan eyeshadow palette, and for it being as good a quality as I think it is, I'm not going to say I'm regretful of buying it. Certainly not. I'm really glad I did. It certainly has piqued my interest in Pat McGrath as well, which is a little bit worrying because it's fucking expensive shit. But for me, if you've never tried it before, I wouldn't put you off purchasing it. But I feel it's difficult because there's a lot of really big YouTubers out there who are like, no, it's not worth picking up, just save your money and get proper Pat stuff, or get the full size palettes, or get the mothership palettes, don't bother with this. But I kind of enjoyed this, but we will do a full video on this discussing the pros and cons of it, because there are cons as well, and I think that my first impressions was very, very pro Pat McGrath. And moving on to more Pat McGrath, I did get a lipstick as well from Pat McGrath, which I used in that video for the Celestial Divinity palette, which I really, really enjoyed. But with us wearing masks all the time at the moment, and I've been on night shift pretty much for like 3 billion years now. So even though vampires love having very vampy lipstick, it's not something that I would wear to my work very often. But that's the only reason I haven't mentioned it in this video. I've not been wearing it enough this month to kind of include it in this roundup. But these, the balms, the little mini balms that came in the set, now these were on offer for £10 for 3, which I thought was a really good deal. I think they're normally £20 for the 3, for the mini ones. But actually, I've said this a million times before in a million videos, who actually ever gets through a full bullet of lipstick? Not me. Very, very rarely. And if I do, it's like, well, I think the only bullet lipstick I ever got through was, I used to love not Colourpop, nope, Clinique's. It was like pop lipstick. They were in little square tubes, and I used to get it in cherry pop, I wouldn't say. It was a red. It was really nice, and I used it up, and Alan's mum ended up picking me up another one because she knew I really, really liked that red. And I still have that cherry pop, which is probably a good like 3-4 years old now. So that's how long it takes to actually get through a lipstick. And when you've got as much makeup as I do, and I don't have as much as some people do, but I have probably more than the average consumer, and when you've got that much, you're never going to get through it. So I don't mind mini lipsticks or mini lip balms or mini sizes of things. I know a lot of people will be like, oh, it's a waste of money, like, yeah, actually you get more for your money if you bought the full size. Yeah, that's fine, but if you're not going to use the full size and then you're going to throw it away anyway, you'd have been better buying the cheaper one, no? I would like to save my money, that's all. I picked these up and they were on offer for £10. Unfortunately, they didn't have any of the lipstick minis, it was just the balms. So the ones in the white tubes are the balms. Now, I didn't hold high hopes for these, but I thought, kind of cute, they're kind of bougie, like, it'd be nice to say it's in my bag. But these are phenomenal. These are so good. So today I am wearing Blow Up, which is like this kind of nude colour. Now they're tiny, they're so dinky, look, they're very cute. And Blow Up is like this nude colour, and it is lovely, and it's so comfortable. It's got a little bit of sheen to it, but not too much. And it's kind of just easy throw on, have in the bag type thing. But also there is colour there, like that's not just a sheer, like that's not, it is sheer, what the fuck are you talking about, Alana? It is sheer, but there is colour there. It's not like there's nothing on my lips, you can see that there is colour there. Then there is a clear one as well, which I have used slightly, but it's more kind of, it's not, the clear one is not like a glossy balm.com. It's not necessarily nourishing, that's what I will say about these balms. It's not something that I put on at the end of my skincare and I'm like, oh, that feels nice. But it is nice to put on before you're going to put some makeup on. Does that make sense? Like if you put this on, you're maybe doing your hair, you've done your skincare, pop this on, and then when you're doing your eyes or whatever, it's still on your lips before you apply a lipstick. It's quite nice for that. But would I buy the full size of the clear? No, certainly not. There's no point. But the last one is called Flesh 3. So they've obviously got a number of different flesh ones. And this actually is very pigmented. So I'll just show you in the back of my hand. It's like, now it is almost like a ruddy burgundy shade. But to be honest with you, on my lips, this looks a bit more brown. And I think it works really well for this time of year. I presume because it's called Flesh 3, it's probably for someone with a deeper skin tone than me, if that's to look kind of more to their tone of skin. But I think it's beautiful, I think it's really nice, and again, has a little bit of a sheen, but there is definitely colour on that as well for a balm, and I'm really enjoying them. Next up is another lip product. This is the Revolution, oh, wait till I fucking try and say this, Plumping Lip Gloss. Oh no, that's not, it's just a plumping lip gloss. Pout Bomb Maxi Plump. Now, I'll read that and you'll be like, why is that so hard to read? But there's something in my fucking brain that's like, Pout Blum Blum, Pout Blum, Plum Blacksy Plump. Like, it's not the easiest name. to say. It is absolutely huge as well. It's like massive. It's like a big giant tube. The doe foot applicator on it is fucking massive. Like so big. If you had really big juicy lips, like I don't know, maybe you've had your lips done, or you naturally have very full lips, I imagine that would be fine. This is huge on my lips. I don't know why they felt the need to make it quite so gigantor. I don't know if that's to make it feel a bit more like it's because it's plump and extra plump, like extra I don't know. It's like a giant's version of a lip gloss. It's huge. I mean, it doesn't look like much in my hand there. Maybe I've got really big hands. I don't know. I didn't think I did. But compared to, let me get a normal lip gloss and I'll show you. Okay, so this one is actually a lip oil. This is from You Do You. It's like a bit, but like look at the size of that compared to that. And then if you actually look at the applicators next to each other, I mean, you can really see there like the size of this, the tiny one, and the size of that one next to it. It's huge. So it is a little bit awkward to use. I'm not gonna lie about that. I haven't been using it a whole lot. When I have used it, what I've been using it for is, again, a little bit like a balm, like prepping my lips. If I know I'm gonna put on like a really, I don't know, really pigmented lipstick that day or something really high drama, high colour, I put this on and then I give it time to do its whole plumping type thing. It is a little bit like the old Too Faced lip injection. I don't find it to be quite as dramatic as that, and to be honest with you, I used to kind of like the Too Faced lip injection. Like, an odd thing to say, but I do see a lot of people on YouTube and they'll be like, oh my god, it was like fire on the lips. But I always used to kind of think, must be doing something then. But I get why people don't like it. It's not as strong as that. But it does have, I think it's more of a minty tingle than it is a fiery or like cinnamony tingle. And I let it do its work, and then I wipe off the gloss, and then I'll maybe put like a matte lipstick on, or maybe another kind of pigmented gloss type lipstick, but then I put something on top. I'm not wearing this solely by itself. I'm not really a clear lip gloss girl. I always usually put it over the top of something. So I've been using it more as a bit of a prep for lipstick, and to just make my lips a little juicier, which it seems to be doing. Would I buy it again? Probably not. I was just too nosy. I was really nosy to see what it was like and if it worked and if it was worth it. This might actually be something I could potentially hand on to my mum, because she likes things like this. She quite likes things that give you that plumping effect. I think she feels a little bit like if it's tingling, it's doing something. So I might pass this on to her. Okay, we're gonna move on to skincare now. First of all, it's Beauty Pie again. This is the QI Energy Ginseng Root and Ginger Brightening Eye Fix. I picked this up quite a while ago, but it's only been this month that I've really been using it, because I've been working my way through different eye creams, and I don't like opening things and then I've got too many things on the go at once. I like to open things, use them fully, and then pass my judgment, because I know that's the one thing that's been doing what I'm hoping, or that's the one thing that caused irritation. You know, I like to use one thing at a time. I know that's hugely boring for someone that talks on YouTube, but I would rather be realistic with you. So this is supposed to be a brightening eye cream. Now, there's a lot of dubiety around eye creams and whether or not, like, they're never going to do what they say they're going to do. You know, is this going to mean, what does it actually say on it? Hold on. It helps stimulate circulation and wake up your eyes, and like moisturize. It doesn't actually say it's going to get rid of dark circles or anything like that, but I think with the wording of what it says on the back, that's kind of what it's trying to promise. I've been enjoying this, I'm not going to lie. It's completely up to you whether you like eye cream or not. I am someone who particularly does like to use an eye cream, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think the important thing to remember is, especially when you see a lot of these really big YouTube like skincare people, they will tell you that eye cream does nothing and it is a waste of money. And scientifically, I believe that to be true. I don't think there is anything that an eye cream will do that a good moisturizer wouldn't. You could buy like this, there is a moisturizer version of this basically, and I actually think I've seen Laura Hull speaking about the moisturizer version, so you know, maybe I'll pick up the moisturizer. But she was saying that she was really enjoying the moisturizer, and if you use the moisturizer, you're going to have a bigger tub. If you solely use that round about your eyes, is it going to do the same thing? Yeah, probably. I'm not gonna lie. But I can't say that for definite, and I do like an eye cream. That's me personally. I'm a fucking allowed to put whatever I want on my eyes. So I've actually really been enjoying this. It's a really nice thick cream, and as I say, I don't know if the moisturiser would be the same, but I find this really, really nice to put on as my kind of step at night just before I do something like a retinol. I feel like I'm putting on a little barrier around about these delicate areas before I put a retinol on or anything like that, because you're not meant to put like retinols close in under your eyes anyway, but just to make sure there's like a little kind of film almost to stop the retinol going in and fucking up with your soft eye tissue. So I've really been enjoying it. I think it's really nice. I would potentially purchase it again, but as I said, we will discuss Beauty Pie further and whether or not I'm going to continue being subscribed to them. So right, next up is this is basically a kit. This is from Beauty Bay and it is their hydration kit. I did speak about this as well. I am not going to give you a full judgment of this kit here in this video because I have not been using it long enough. I've only been using this for coming up on 3 weeks now, maybe more like 2 and a bit. But to be honest with you, I want to do a video on this kit on its own because I think there's a lot to say about it. And a lot to kind of dig into, and I'm finding it a little odd. So I will do a full video on its own of this kit, but I have been using this. This is the hydrating serum, the face mist, and the rich moisturiser. What I'm going to say about the moisturiser, it is nice. It is super thick. Look at it. It's like a body butter, but it might be just getting used as a body butter. I'm not, I don't know. Tune into that video to find out. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about these just yet, but I have been using them throughout this month. The kit itself is only £15 or something, £14. It's not a lot of money. All I'm gonna say is that doesn't surprise me, but we will talk about it, okay? And lastly, I've got a couple of Pixie things and one Mario Badescu. I'm going to talk about Mario Badescu first. I've used up to about here on this, so again, I can't pass full judgment on it. This is the Enzyme Cleansing Gel. I think this has got, is it mango? What the fuck is it this has got in it again? Grapefruit. Papaya and grapefruit infused formula. Removes excess oil and dulling surface impurities. So, dulling surface impurities to rejuvenate the complexion, leaving bright and refreshed. I don't know. It's not bad. It's not great. It's not for me. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know anybody with oily skin. If anybody watching this right now has oily skin and desperately wants to try, drop me a message over on Instagram. I'm sure I can get it to you somehow. Obviously it says on it that it's to remove excess oil. I presume this is for a little bit more of a oil. It says all skin types. I would tend to disagree. I've used this and I find once I've used it, my skin feels a little tight. I'm not gonna lie. I have combination skin. I get oily here, round about the nose, obviously, and I get a little bit drier and I need something heavier in the winter. Would this work in the summer for me? Potentially. Will I use it? Probably not. It's very highly fragranced. I said this before, it smells green. It smells like cut grass or something. It is green. Yeah. This is not for me. I'll pass it on. If anybody wants it, let me know, because I'm not going to use it. Now the two Pixie items are from the Milky collection. I am also trying out the Milky like eye makeup remover at the moment, but I could talk about it, but I think equally I'm going to do a video on the Milky collection. This is the Hydrating Milky Peel. I've used this twice. It's certainly not what I expected. It's almost got scrubbies in it. I thought this was going to be like the Body Shop one, the one that makes your skin go like chewing gum coming off on your face. It's okay, it's nice. I need to give it a little bit more of a go. I've only used it twice. I think I need to give it a little bit more time to see how I feel about it. I'm going to do a little bit of a deeper dive into some of the ingredients in it. As I say, I will do a little video on the Milky collection as well. And this is the Hydrating Milky Cleanser. Now I have been using this a little bit more religiously than the others. I kind of had been going between these, but to be honest with you. In the morning, when I get up and have a shower, I'm still using my CeraVe. In the evening, when I'm using a balm cleanser to wash my makeup off, I then was going in with this, or this, but more so this. This is quite interesting. This is, yeah, it's odd to say the least. I'm not going to squeeze some out for you, but it's almost pearlescent. Like, you would think it was like a highlighting cream. Like, it's got a pearl look to it when you squeeze it out. I expected it to be like, you know, like my CeraVe, I suppose. Like when I squeezed it out and it had pearly bits in it, I thought, okay, it's got some sort of mica or something in it. But I expected this to be like, just like a gel type cleanser. But it's very thick, and almost gives you like this ghost-like experience. Like, I was washing my face the other night and I went through to Alan and I was like, boo! Because like, this big white face, like proper as if you've got like white face paint on. It's so thick. And then it actually almost foamed when I went to rinse it off. So I think about my cleanser like, yeah, your skin's damp when you put it on, and as I say, it didn't lather up. It made like an emulsifying white texture. And I thought, okay, now I go in with my muslin cloth and wipe that off. But when I went in with the muslin cloth, it was like foaming up on my face. And it doesn't say it's a foaming cleanser. It's odd, it's odd. I don't dislike it, but I need to use it a little bit more often. As I said, there will be a video coming up on the Milky collection, or the bits that I have from the Milky collection. So this is interesting, I have to say. This I'm kind of on the fence about, and I'm a bit like, let's give it another go, let's try something else. But this is interesting, definitely, so I will keep you posted. And normally, as I say, I would usually tell you what I've been watching on the TV, what I've been reading, etc. TV wise, actually, we watched the Chicago 7, I want to say. It was on Netflix. It was really, really good. Really enjoyed that. We did watch Borat. Borat was fucking cutting to the bone, I have to say. It's one of those films, like, the first one was the same, but you know, you're going like, oh my god, like, I can't believe he's done that, oh my god, like, you're just hiding your fucking face, you're like, Borat, oh my god. It's just, oh, how he gets away with it, it's unbelievable. Sacha Baron Cohen, he is a fucking genius, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's a really good watch, and the actress in it that plays his daughter is amazing, so good. So we watched that as well. We've also been rewatching Peep Show. It's been a while since we watched it, and it's one of those, like, I always like having something that's just really easy going to watch, kind of half an hour type shows that you can watch your dinner with and all that kind of stuff. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, Disaster Artist. We watched that as well. Film with James and what's the other Franco called? There's two of them and I can't remember. Dave Franco, is that it? Dave and James Franco. That was quite good as well, based off of a kind of cult film that was out years ago. What was it called? I don't even remember now. Like, that was interesting, actually. Quite, again, one that was kind of awkward to watch, but quite good. But yeah, that's kind of all the stuff we've been watching on Netflix or on the TV or anything like that. But no books this month. No books, because I'm still fucking chewing on Invisible Women. I'm not saying it's a bad book. I'm not giving it a bad review. I will tell you what I think when I get to the end of it. But it certainly isn't an easy read. That's what I will say. Anyway, that is it for now. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you're into it. If you are, you know, there's a wee fucking button down here that you can subscribe. If you like it, then give it a little thumbs up. Do that kind of shit. You don't have to. It's okay. I'm not going to come to your house and strangle you. But it would be lovely and very much appreciated if you did, if you fancy it. Otherwise, I'll see you all again next time, and I hope you are all well. I hope you are all kind of getting there. That's all I can really say at the moment. Keep your chin up. Let's keep going. Let's hope next year brings something. Some sort of hope, at least. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.